We've got a big date coming up for Ripple XRP fans, as the 22nd is going to give us insight onto what Brad and the crew are thinking. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor is selling his stock, but is he going to use it to buy Bitcoin personally for himself? Jamie Dimon comes out and says, yo, crypto's still a Ponzi. Meanwhile, the price action is... Oh, don't worry, we're going to get into price action. But first, the viewers' comments come first. Cenobite Toast Crunch said, this shit gave my brother Klaus the brain herp. Oh my God, some of the stories that I report on, I swear they make me stupider. King Baker 6391 says, hope you all do realize he is getting paid probably by Bitcoin and Ethereum to screw this crap. He is making his while he's also lying to you. If you're stupid not to do any research on your own, well, nothing anyone can do for you. So you think Bitcoin and Ethereum are paying? Who's paying me? Is it the Bitcoin miners? You think Buterin's out there and Buterin's like, yo, let's give Klaus some money. No, my guy, you're just a hopium maxi. All my stories, all the articles are linked in the description below. Whoa, 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 don't freak out. I set the heat map for 1 week so you could see kind of before the halving and after the halving how some of your favorites have fared. Now, you can see the majority of the market is fairly in the red, and in the red by about 5%, 6% over this last week. But there are a few in the green. Look at ICP up 4% this last week. ADA is up 2.4%. Optimism up 3%. But the majority of our favorite cryptos are down 5 to 7%. TRX, can't stand it. Sol down 7%. DOT, XRP 6%. ETH 6%. Bitcoin, oh, ETH and Bitcoin, the ones that pay me. That's so fucking dumb. I hate when people say it. That just shows you the ignorance of people. When's the next halving? Holy shit, it's 1,412 days away. JP Morgan CEO describes Bitcoin as a Ponzi scheme. Well, what's new? Now, I wanted to bring this up because I'm going to show you some people on one side of the aisle that are anti-Bitcoin, and then the rest of the stories today are actually good ones about crypto, positive. So for those of you out there that say, bro, you only bring bad news, guess what I got for you this Saturday morning? A big, healthy dose of shut the fuck up. Brain herp can't stop this. According to Being in Crypto, the recent comment by the banking executive reiterated his long-term standing criticism and skepticism of cryptocurrencies. Dimon's criticism and campaign against Bitcoin stem from his belief that Bitcoin lacks intrinsic value. Therefore, he postulates that Bitcoin cannot act as a currency. This is what he said. He goes, if you mean crypto like Bitcoin, I've always said it's a fraud. I just brought this up because we've learned that, BlackRock, a bunch of the other ETF players out there are seeing massive inflows. There's a lot of players that want to get into the BTC ETF action. In fact, we can even say that traditional finance has been the reason that we've seen prices up as much as they've been over the last several months. Yeah, since the ETF movement. So I find it weird that Dimon's still digging his heels in. But you know what? My thinking is this. My thinking is Dimon is pissing on crypto, but at the same time, he's out there probably buying some BTC. He is. He's probably like, oh, this stuff is a Ponzi. This is all bullshit. But then he's like, you know what? I want to make some money, so let me buy it. Kid you not. But yeah, I just thought I'd share with you that yes, there's still some traditional finance people out there like Jamie Dimon that thinks ain't going nowhere. Oh, okay. Now, Michael Saylor did not sell BTC. He sold his private shares from MicroStrategy. So now he's going to have a ton of fiat. About $372 million worth of fiat. Is he going to be buying BTC personally for himself? Or do you think he's keeping the cash? Michael Saylor has successfully cashed in 370,000 shares, totaling about $372 million in value from this year's stock sales. This accounts for over 90% of the agreed upon 400,000 shares outlined in last summer's agreement. Under this agreement, Saylor could sell up to 5,000 shares daily from January 2nd to April 25th. These shares were tied to a vested stock option set to expire on April 30th. Okay, so Saylor's selling, and he is like the biggest holder for MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is basically a Bitcoin holder. Now you got the Bitcoin halving over. Is there going to be enough fuel to keep Bitcoin rolling, right? Will the ETFs be enough fuel, a demand from traditional trade to keep it going? Because the halving narrative, well, you're going to have to wait 1,412 days for that. So it's like, okay, I guess we're going to have to wait a bit for that. But Saylor's like, look, all right, the halving last time was at 8,618. We're at 64 and change. We basically 8x'd from here. He believes there's more juice. And in fact, Saylor is going to keep buying Bitcoin because he believes it's going to go up even more. Now, what's the big date with Ripple and XRP holders? Well, I've got it right here. Ripple is going to file a redacted version, which means there's going to be some things blocked out that y'all can't see because it's, part of the whole court thing. But anyways, it's going to file a redacted version on April 22nd. That is a reply to the SEC's initial penalty request. And you're like, wait, what does this mean? Okay, so basically what happens is this. Is the SEC filed their starting remedies thing, okay? And that was the $2 billion fine you hear about. Now Ripple's turn is going to be like, well, girlfriend, we think you're full of shit. And they're going to respond with their reply. Now, we're going to get a better idea of what Ripple's looking at penalty-wise, and we're going to see how close the two sides are. Now, there's going to be a few dates happening after that where you're going to see public versions, unredacted stuff, and then the other big date that we got is on May 6th. The SEC gets to reply to Ripple's reply. So we've got quite a few weeks left of just this initial penalty action. Now, like I said earlier, the SEC asked for $2 billion. Brad Garlinghouse was like, whoa, you're smoking crack, my guy. What the fuck is wrong with you? Meanwhile, Ripple, Brad, and the crew are basically going to say, you know what, though? I think we're going to have to say that you don't have jurisdiction over this. Listen to this. Ripple will also cite a court decision in the Aaron Govel case that if a buyer suffers no financial loss, the SEC is not entitled to disgorgement from the seller. The SEC alleged that institutional investors have suffered $480 million in damages owing to the discrimination. Moreover, Coinbase gaining clarity on secondary market sales as not securities could also appear. So there's a lot that's tying into this, okay? So 22nd, Ripple's reply to the initial SEC $2 billion. Now, price action-wise, okay, look. Since before the halving, we had that little mini flash crash. It wasn't crazy. We were just about 50 cents, took us down to 47. But now we've popped up about 10% from that mark. Why are people happy with XRP right now? I mean, it's not price-wise. I mean, maybe because you could buy it cheap. But the big thing I wanted to show you was this. We had this fall through 60 cents. And since then, we've been hovering around the 50-cent range. So now that the halving is over, you're going to see a lot of narrative out there about this is altcoin season. Okay, I get that, but hasn't altcoin season kind of already started? I mean, wasn't ICP at like $2.50 not too long ago? Wasn't BNB at like a couple $100 not too long ago, and now it's $559? Wasn't Sol like under $100 for quite some time, and now it's $142? So I think a lot of us are sitting here thinking, wait, we think the bull run already happened. We just hope that there's more steam left now that the BTC halving narrative is over. Now, did the halving event produce anything crazy juicy for everyone? No, but we always know that stuff happens after. In fact, we did see a lot of volatility leading up to the halving. We saw several flash crashes, and then we started seeing, okay, we got a little bit of Israel-Middle East action going on, and that still hasn't gone away. So when everyone's talking about all the reasons we can moon, all the reasons we could do big, big things, well, are we going to solve the Israel-Middle East action right away? Because I just got to be honest with you, we're not going to solve it right away. But XRP holders right now are at a crucial point. And the reason why is we're going to start seeing Ripple's response to the SEC's penalties. And we want to see how far apart are the two sides. Because if they are really, really far apart, this is going to get dragged out for a long, long time, which we know is going to put more pressure on XRP, considering the narrative as of late has been, guess what? The reason XRP is not mooning is because of case price suppression. Well, if Ripple and the SEC are that far apart on what they believe the penalties are going to be, you're going to have extended price suppression for even longer. And some of us out there already believe that the altcoin run already started, and it may have already started fizzling out. Michael Saylor doesn't believe so, but he's selling his own company's stock and putting fiat in his pocket. What is he doing with this fiat, and why is he selling the company stock? Now remember, his stock is tied directly to Bitcoin. So does that mean that Saylor now thinks that Bitcoin is going to get soft, and that's why he wanted to dump his stuff? We've got quite a few crucial weeks coming up here as the halving news starts kind of losing its oomph. And the ETF news has to take center stage with traditional finance being the leader of this movement. So let's see if traditional finance has any more legs left in his move. Speaking of legs in its move, I've got a very huge workout I got to tackle today. I've got a speed workout. Then after the speed workout, I right away got to get on the old road bike. Then as soon as I'm done with my hour-long road bike, I then have to do a long run afterwards. So I'm looking at 4 to 5 hours of straight training. Hence a little bit of carbohydrates, a little bit of caffeine, some electrolytes to get me going, and some good tunes that I'm going to be playing through the old earbuds. I'll catch you cool cats later, but let me know in the comments below what you're doing today. Crypto giving you the brain hurt.